November 11, 1944. Leyte Gulf, Philippine Islands. The dawn comes soft and gold, spilling across Tacloban airstrip like honey over razor wire. The air smells of aviation fuel, salt water, and wet earth, the particular perfume of a forward operating base carved out of jungle and desperation. 1,500 miles from Pearl Harbor. 500 miles from Tokyo. Close enough to smell the enemy's breath. Lieutenant Commander James "Smokey" Caldwell stands on the flight line, squinting into the rising sun, watching his ground crew swarm over 12 F-4U Corsairs like ants over sugar. 28 years old. From Oklahoma. Flew crop dusters before the war. Now he flies death. The Corsairs are magnificent and terrible. Bent-wing birds of prey, their inverted gull wings giving them a predatory silhouette that Japanese pilots have learned to fear. 4,000 horsepower Pratt & Whitney radial engines. 6.50 caliber machine guns, 3 in each wing. Hardpoints for rockets, bombs, napalm. 400 miles per hour in level flight. Faster in a dive. Fast enough to catch anything. Fast enough to kill anything. VF-17. The Jolly Rogers. The skull and crossbones painted on each Corsair's engine cowling isn't just for show. This squadron has been in the Pacific for 14 months. They've painted 43 kill markers on the ready room wall, 43 Japanese planes shot down, 37 ships sunk or damaged. They've lost 9 pilots. 9 names scratched into a wooden plaque in the officer's tent. 9 empty chairs at breakfast. Caldwell watches aviation ordnanceman second-class Tommy Chun load a 1,000-pound bomb onto his Corsair's centerline rack. Chen is 19. Chinese-American kid from San Francisco. Joined up 3 days after Pearl Harbor. His hands move with practiced efficiency, securing shackles, checking arming wires, double-checking fuses. "She's good to go, Skipper," Chen says, patting the bomb like it's a loyal dog. AP Mark 33. Armor piercing. This baby'll go through a battleship's deck like butter. "Let's hope we find a battleship to test that theory," Caldwell says. Chen grins, but there's something hollow behind his eyes. Something all of them carry now. The 1,000-yard stare. The weight of knowing what they're about to do. What they've already done. What they'll keep doing until the war ends or they die, whichever comes first. The briefing tent is stifling. 36 pilots crammed into a space meant for 20, all of them silent, all of them staring at the map pinned to the board at the front. Major Frank Bull, Tolliver, stands beside the map, pointer in hand, his jaw working a piece of gum like a machine. Tolliver is a lifer. Career Marine. Flew Wildcats at Midway, Hellcats at the Marianas, and now Corsairs at Leyte. He has 11 confirmed kills and a Navy Cross. He also has a Purple Heart from the time a Zero's 20mm cannon shell went through his canopy and took off 2 fingers on his left hand. He still flies with a modified glove. "Gentlemen," Tolliver says, and the tent goes dead silent. Intelligence has located a Japanese convoy approximately 40 nautical miles northeast of Ormoc Bay. 16 ships. I repeat, 16 ships. A murmur runs through the pilots. 16 ships is not a convoy. 16 ships is a fleet. Tolliver taps the map. "We've got eyes in the sky. A PBY spotted them at 0530 this morning. 4 cargo vessels, probably carrying reinforcements for the Japanese garrison at Ormoc. 2 tankers, fuel for their aircraft and armor. 8 escorts, destroyers and destroyer escorts. And 2 heavy cruisers." The murmur dies. Heavy cruisers. 8-inch guns. Radar-directed fire control. Anti-aircraft batteries that can turn the sky into a steel curtain. "The brass wants this convoy dead," Tolliver continues. "Dead and on the bottom. Those cargo ships are carrying the 26th Infantry Division, 12,000 Japanese soldiers. If they make it to shore, our boys on the ground are going to pay for it in blood. Caldwell feels his stomach tighten. 12,000 soldiers, packed into the holds of cargo ships like sardines. Men with families. Men with photographs in their pockets. Men who probably don't want to be in this war any more than he does. But they're the enemy. And this is what war is. The plan is simple, Tolliver says. We hit them hard. We hit them fast. 3 flights of 4 birds each. First flight, skip bombing on the cargo ships. Second flight, rockets and guns on the escorts. Third flight, that's you, Smokey, you take the cruisers. Caldwell nods. Of course they get the cruisers. The hardest targets. The ones with the most guns. Time on target is 0800 hours, Tolliver says. We launch in 30 minutes. Weather is clear. Ceiling unlimited. No excuses. We go in, we do the job, we come home. Questions? Lieutenant Bobby, Kid Morrison raises his hand. 21 years old. Fresh-faced. Still has acne. This is his 4th combat mission. Sir, what about fighter cover? Will we have Hellcats riding shotgun? Tolliver shakes his head. Negative. Every Hellcat we've got is tied up providing air cover for the landing zones. We're on our own. The tent goes quiet again. On their own. That means no one to cover their 6. No one to intercept Zeros if the Japanese have fighters in the area. Just 12 Corsairs against 16 ships and whatever's in the sky above them. Anything else? Tolliver asks. Silence. Good. Mount up. And remember, speed is life. We get in, we unload, we get out. 5 minutes. That's all we've got before every AA gun in that fleet zeroes in on us. 5 minutes to kill a fleet. Make them count. The walk to the flight line feels longer than it should. Caldwell pulls on his flight suit, heavy canvas stinking of sweat and hydraulic fluid. He straps on his survival vest, morphine, compass, signal mirror, .45 automatic with 3 magazines. He pulls on his leather helmet, adjusts his goggles, checks his throat mic. Around him, the other pilots are doing the same. Quiet. Focused. Some are praying. Some are writing letters they hope they won't need to mail. Some are just staring into the middle distance, already seeing the targets, already running the attack in their heads. Chan hands Caldwell his parachute. Bring her back, skipper. I'll do my best, Tommy. No, Chan says, and his voice is suddenly hard. Bring her back. I've got $50 riding on you making it to Christmas. Caldwell grins. $50? Hell, that's almost worth dying for. Not funny, sir. Wasn't trying to be. Caldwell climbs the ladder into his Corsair's cockpit. The seat fits him like a glove, worn leather molded to his body after 100 missions. He straps in. 5-point harness. Shoulder straps. Lap belt. Crotch strap. Tight enough to hurt. Tight enough to keep him in the plane if he has to pull out of a 1,000-foot dive at 6 GS. He runs through the checklist. Fuel, full. Oil pressure, good. Hydraulics, good. Guns, armed. Bomb, armed. Radio, set to tactical frequency. Around him, 11 other Corsairs roar to life. The sound is apocalyptic. 12 engines, 48,000 horsepower, turning 12 propellers into blurs of silver. The ground shakes. The air shimmers with heat and fumes. Tolliver's voice crackles through the radio. Jolly Rogers, this is Jolly Leader. Radio check. One by one, the pilots respond. Jolly 2, good. Jolly 3, good. Jolly 4, good. Down the line. 12 voices. 12 men. 12 birds of prey about to take wing. Jolly flight, you are cleared for takeoff. Let's go kill some ships. Caldwell releases the brakes. His Corsair rolls forward, picking up speed, the tail lifting as the propeller bites air. 40 miles per hour. 60. 80. The jungle blurs past on both sides. 100. The Corsair lifts off. For a moment, just one perfect moment, there is only the sky and the wind and the deep primal roar of the engine. No war. No killing. No death. Just flight. And then Caldwell banks northeast, toward the enemy, and the moment ends. 40 miles away, a Japanese fleet steams south, unaware that 12 American angels of death are coming for them. 5 minutes. That's all it will take. The Corsairs fly in formation, 3 flights of 4, staggered at 500 feet intervals. Caldwell's flight is at 8,000 feet, high enough to see forever, high enough to dive from heaven like thunderbolts. The ocean below is a sheet of hammered blue, endless and indifferent. No clouds. No cover. Just 12 dark silhouettes against the sky, their shadows racing across the water a mile and a half below. The radio crackles. Jolly leader, this is Jolly 7. I've got a visual. 11 o'clock, range 30 miles. Looks like smoke. Caldwell scans the horizon. There, a smudge of black against the blue, multiple columns rising into the clear morning air. Ship stacks. Lots of them. Good eyes. 7. All flights. Maintain altitude and spacing. We're going in hot. The formation tightens. 12 Corsairs, 12 pilots, 12 beating hearts accelerating in sync with the engines. The distance closes. 30 miles. 25. 20. And then Caldwell sees them. 16 ships spread across 5 miles of ocean, steaming in 3 columns. The cargo ships are fat and slow, their decks stacked with crates and equipment. The tankers are lower in the water, heavy with fuel. The destroyers cut back and forth like sheepdogs, their wakes white against the blue. And at the center, the 2 heavy cruisers, massive, deadly, their turrets already tracking skyward. Jesus Christ, someone whispers over the radio. That's a lot of ships. Maintain radio discipline, Tolliver snaps. First flight, you're cleared hot. Hit those cargo ships. Second flight, take the escorts on the right flank. Third flight, follow me. We're going for the cruisers. Caldwell's stomach tightens. The cruisers. Of course. He keys his mic. Third flight, this is Jolly 9. Stay tight on my wing. We're going in fast. Dive from 8,000, release at 1,500, pull out at 500. If your bomb doesn't come off clean, don't go around. You get 1 pass. Make it count. 3 acknowledgments. Caldwell's wingmen, Lieutenant Dave, Crow, Blackwell, Ensign Tim, Peaches, O'Malley, and Lieutenant Junior Grade Ron, Tack, Takamoto. Good pilots. Steady hands. Men he trusts with his life. Men who might die in the next 5 minutes. The Japanese fleet sees them now. Caldwell can see the ship's bows turning, trying to present the smallest target profile. Can see the AA guns traversing upward. Can see the first puffs of black smoke as the 5-inch guns open fire. Flak. The explosions blossom in the sky ahead, black flowers of shrapnel and concussion. Dozens of them. Then hundreds. The Japanese gunners are throwing up a curtain of steel, trying to swat the Corsairs out of the sky before they can strike. First flight, rolling in. Tolliver's voice, calm as Sunday morning. Follow me down. Tolliver's Corsair flips inverted and dives. 3 more follow, 4 dark shapes plummeting toward the ocean like stones, their engines screaming. Caldwell watches. Counts. Waits. The first flight levels off at 50 feet, so low their propeller wash kicks up spray. They're skip bombing, coming in flat and fast, releasing their bombs so they skip across the water like flat stones, slamming into the cargo ship's hulls at the waterline where the armor is thinnest. Boom! The first cargo ship erupts in orange flame. The 1,000-pound bomb punches through the hull and detonates inside the hold. Secondary explosions rip through the ship as stored ammunition cooks off. Men are thrown into the air like rag dolls. The ship lists hard to starboard, already sinking. Boom! Boom! 2 more cargo ships take hits. One breaks in half. The other's bow lifts out of the water, propellers spinning uselessly in the air. Second flight, we're in. For more Corsairs peel off, diving toward the destroyers. They're not carrying bombs, they're loaded with 5-inch HVAR rockets. Holy Moses, the pilots call them. High-velocity aircraft rockets. Each Corsair carries 8, and each rocket hits like a freight train. The destroyers throw up walls of tracers, red streams of 40 mm and 20 mm fire arcing across the sky. One Corsair takes hits. Caldwell sees the wings shred, sees the propeller tear loose, sees the plane cartwheel into the ocean at 300 miles per hour. There's no parachute. No time. Just there 1 second, gone the next. Jolly 6 is down, someone shouts. But the other 3 Corsairs press the attack. Rockets streak from their wings, 8 white trails per plane, 24 total. The rockets slam into the destroyers. One takes a direct hit on the bridge. The superstructure disintegrates. Another takes 3 rockets in the engine room. The ship slews sideways, dead in the water, smoke pouring from every seam. Third flight, Caldwell says into his mic. His voice is steady, but his heart is hammering like a piston. Here we go. He shoves the stick forward. The Corsair's nose drops. The horizon vanishes, replaced by ocean rushing up at terminal velocity. The engine howls. The airframe shudders. The altimeter unwinds like a broken watch, 8,000 feet, 7,000, 6,000. The heavy cruiser fills Caldwell's gun sight. It's massive, 600 feet long, displacing 14,000 tons. 8-inch main guns. Dozens of smaller weapons. Radar. Fire control. A floating fortress designed to kill ships. But it was never designed to fight planes diving out of the sun at 400 miles per hour. The flak intensifies. The sky around Caldwell's Corsair turns black. Shrapnel pings off the wings. A piece of metal the size of a dinner plate tears through the cockpit canopy, missing his head by inches. Wind screams through the hole. 5,000 feet. 4,000. The cruiser's AA guns are firing point-blank now. Tracers everywhere. The air is solid metal. Caldwell can see the Japanese sailors on the deck, can see them loading shells, can see them pointing, shouting. 3,000 feet. 2,000. Steady, Caldwell whispers to himself. Steady. The bomb sight pipper drifts across the cruiser's deck. The forward turret. The bridge. The midship section where the armor is weakest. 1,500 feet. Caldwell hits the release. The bomb falls away. The Corsair lurches upward, suddenly 1,000 pounds lighter. Caldwell hauls back on the stick, pulling 5GS-6, the world graying at the edges, blood draining from his head, the ocean and sky spinning together into a nauseating blur. Behind him, the 1,000-pound armor-piercing bomb drops through the air at 200 feet per second. It does not miss. The bomb strikes the heavy cruiser Suzuya amidships, punching through the deck plating like a knife through paper. For half a second, nothing happens. The bomb is inside the ship, still falling, penetrating through the crew quarters, through the galley, through the machinery spaces, until it reaches the magazine. And then the cruiser explodes. Not just explodes, detonates. 800 tons of ammunition and fuel go up in a fireball that turns night into day. The ship doesn't sink. It disintegrates. The bow and stern lift into the air, still connected by a bridge of fire, and then both halves fold inward and slip beneath the surface. 1,400 men die in 3 seconds. Caldwell doesn't see it. He's pulling out of his dive, fighting the G-forces, fighting the damaged controls, fighting to keep his Corsair in the sky. The engine is coughing. Oil pressure is dropping. There's a hole in the canopy the size of a basketball. But he's alive. Good hit, skipper. Crow's voice over the radio. That cruiser is gone. Jolly 10, Jolly 11, make your runs. Caldwell gasps, still struggling for breath. Peaches and Tack dive. 2 more Corsairs, 2 more bombs, 2 more chances to kill. The second heavy cruiser, Kumano, is turning hard, trying to throw off their aim. The captain knows what's coming. He's watched Suzuya vanish in fire. He's ordering full reverse on one engine, full ahead on the other, trying to spin the cruiser like a top. But cruisers don't turn fast. Not fast enough. Peaches releases at 2,000 feet. His bomb falls true, striking the cruiser's aft turret. The explosion rips the turret clean off, flinging 60 tons of steel into the air like a child's toy. The blast wave blows out every window on the superstructure. The cruiser heels over, listing 15 degrees, her stern on fire. But she's still afloat. Tack makes his run. He comes in lower than Caldwell, lower than Peaches, dropping to 1,000 feet before he releases. The flak is insane. The sky is nothing but explosions and tracers. Tack's Corsair takes hits, wings, fuselage, tail. Smoke streams from the engine. He releases his bomb. It's a perfect shot, dead center on the cruiser's bridge. The bomb penetrates, detonates inside the command center. Every officer on the bridge dies instantly. The fire control system goes offline. The radar stops spinning. The ship becomes a steel coffin, drifting without purpose, burning from within. But Tack doesn't pull out. His Corsair, damaged beyond recovery, doesn't respond to the controls. The nose drops. The engine seizes. The plane spirals down, 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 and slams into the ocean 200 yards from the burning cruiser. No parachute. No survival raft. No time. Jolly 11 is down. Crow shouts. Tack is down. Caldwell's vision blurs. Not from G-forces. From rage. From grief. From the terrible, helpless fury of watching a friend die and being unable to do anything about it. But there's no time for grief. Not now. All flights, report. Tolliver's voice cuts through the chaos. The responses come fast, overlapping. First flight, 3 birds up, 1 down. 2 cargo ships sinking, 1 damaged. Second flight, 3 birds up, 1 down. 3 destroyers disabled. Third flight, Caldwell swallows hard. 3 birds up, 1 down. Both cruisers neutralized. The math is brutal. 4 Corsairs lost. 4 pilots dead. But the mission is succeeding. The Japanese fleet is burning. Half the ships are already sinking. The other half are dead in the water, their crews abandoning ship, jumping into the oil-slicked ocean. All flights, 1 more pass, Tolliver orders. Hit anything still floating. Use guns if you're out of bombs. Caldwell checks his ordnance panel. Bomb gone. Rockets gone. But he still has 1,500 rounds of .50 caliber ammunition spread across his 6 machine guns. Enough to kill. Third flight, form on me. We're going guns hot on that tanker. The tanker is trying to run. Black smoke pouring from its stack, props churning the water into foam. But it's slow. Tankers are always slow. And Caldwell's Corsair, even damaged, is faster than any ship ever built. He lines up the attack. 3 Corsairs in echelon formation, dropping to 200 feet, accelerating to 350 miles per hour. The tanker's deck fills his gun sight, crude oil tanks, pumping equipment, crew quarters. And fuel. Thousands of gallons of aviation gasoline. Guns, guns, guns. Caldwell squeezes the trigger. All 6 machine guns open fire at once. 1,800 rounds per minute. The sound is like tearing canvas, magnified 1,000 times. The Corsair shudders from the recoil. Empty shell casings stream from the wings, glittering in the sun like brass rain. The bullets walk across the tanker's deck. Metal shreds. Equipment explodes. Men fall. And then the tracers find a fuel line. The tanker erupts. The explosion is bigger than Suzuya. Bigger than anything Caldwell has ever seen. The entire ship vanishes inside a sphere of orange fire that expands outward at supersonic speed. The shockwave hits the Corsairs like a physical blow, flipping them sideways, sending them tumbling through the air. Caldwell fights the controls. The stick is unresponsive. The rudder is shot. The engine is screaming. The altimeter reads 50 feet. 40. 30. He's going to hit the ocean. He's going to die. But then, muscle memory, training, sheer stubborn refusal to quit. He finds the trim tab, adjusts it, pulls the stick back with both hands, every muscle straining. The Corsair levels off at 20 feet. Jesus Christ! Crow gasps over the radio. "Skipper, you okay?" "Define, okay," Caldwell croaks. Around them, the Japanese fleet is dying. 12 ships are already sunk. 3 more are burning. 1 destroyer is limping away at 5 knots, trailing smoke. That's all that's left. 16 ships. 5 minutes. Mission accomplished. All flights, form up, Tolliver orders. We're going home. The 8 surviving Corsairs climb away from the carnage, engines straining, fuel gauges dropping toward empty. Below them, the ocean is a field of wreckage. Oil slicks. Debris. Bodies. Hundreds of Japanese sailors thrashing in the water, clinging to debris, calling for help that will not come. Caldwell looks back one last time. He sees the men in the water. Sees them waving. Sees them drowning. He sees Tack's plane, still visible beneath the surface, sinking into the deep. He turns away and flies toward home. Behind him, the ocean burns. The flight back to Tacloban takes 32 minutes. It feels like 32 hours. Caldwell's Corsair is barely flying. The engine is overheating, temperature gauge buried in the red. Oil pressure is dropping. The airframe rattles with every vibration. The hole in the canopy lets in a screaming wind that makes his eyes water, makes his ears ache, makes his head pound. But he's alive. The radio crackles. "Jolly 9, this is Jolly Leader. What's your fuel state?" Caldwell glances at the gauge. The needle is bouncing just above empty. "Fumes, sir. I've got maybe 10 minutes. Copy that. Stay with the formation. We'll get you down." The 8 Corsairs limp home in ragged formation. Some are trailing smoke. Some are flying on damaged engines. All of them carry the scars of the battle. Bullet holes, shrapnel damage, missing panels. But they're flying. They're alive. 4 aren't. Caldwell does the math in his head. Lieutenant Bobby Morrison, Jolly 6, went down during the destroyer attack. No shoot. Lieutenant Junior Grade Ron Takamoto, Jolly 11, crashed after hitting the cruiser. No shoot. 2 more. He didn't see who, didn't make it out of the flak. 4 names to add to the plaque. 4 empty chairs at breakfast. 4 letters to write. "Dear Mrs. Morrison, it is my duty to inform you. The jungle comes into view." Then the airstrip, a scar of red dirt carved out of green. The tower gives them clearance to land. One by one, the Corsairs touch down. Some bounce. Some skid. Caldwell's lands hard, the damaged landing gear groaning under the impact, but it holds. He taxis to the flight line and shuts down the engine. The propeller spins to a stop. The silence is absolute and terrible. His hands are shaking. His whole body is shaking. Chen is there, pulling open the canopy, staring at the damage. Jesus, Skipper, how the hell did you get this bird home? Stubbornness, Caldwell says. He tries to stand, but his legs won't work. Chen has to help him out of the cockpit, has to hold him up while the world spins and his stomach tries to rebel. How many? Caldwell asks. Chen's face goes dark. 4. Morrison, Tack, Williams, and Rodriguez. 4. The number hits like a fist. Caldwell closes his eyes. He can still see Tack's Corsair spiraling down. Can still hear Morrison's last transmission. Can still remember Williams' laugh and Rodriguez's terrible jokes. Gone. All of them. In 5 minutes. How many ships? Chen asks quietly. 16, Caldwell says. We sank them all. Chen doesn't smile. Doesn't cheer. He just nods. Good. The debriefing is held in the operations tent. Tolliver stands at the mapboard, marker in hand, while the 8 surviving pilots sit on folding chairs and try not to think about the 4 empty seats. Preliminary reconnaissance reports 14 ships sunk, Tolliver says. 2 more dead in the water. The fleet is destroyed. The troop convoy will not reach Ormoc. 12,000 Japanese soldiers are dead or drowning. The mission was a success. Success. The word tastes like ash. We lost 4 pilots, Tolliver continues. His voice is flat. Emotionless. The voice of a man who has said these words too many times. Morrison, Takamoto, Williams, Rodriguez. They died doing their duty. They died protecting their brothers. They will be remembered. The tent is silent. Someone coughs. Someone else stares at the floor. There will be a memorial service at 1800 hours, Tolliver says. Attendance is mandatory. Dismissed. The pilots file out. No one speaks. No one makes eye contact. They walk to their tents, lie on their cots, and stare at the canvas ceiling, trying to process what they've done, what they've seen, what they've lost. Caldwell sits on his cot and pulls out a notebook. He has 4 letters to write. 4 families to destroy. Dear Mrs. Morrison, it is with deep regret that I must inform you of the death of your son, Lieutenant Robert Morrison. On November 11, 1944, during a combat operation against enemy naval forces, Lieutenant Morrison's aircraft was struck by anti-aircraft fire and crashed into the sea. There was no time for him to bail out. His death was instantaneous and without suffering. Your son was a brave and skilled pilot. He flew with courage and dedication. He died in service to his country and his brothers in arms. He will be deeply missed. With sincere condolences. Lieutenant Commander James Caldwell. The words feel hollow. Insufficient. How do you tell a mother that her son died burning alive in a cockpit at 300 miles per hour? How do you tell her that his body will never be recovered, that he's just gone, vanished into the Pacific, one more name on one more plaque? You don't. You lie. You say it was quick and painless. You say he was a hero. You say he will be remembered. And you hope it's enough. Caldwell writes 3 more letters. Takamoto, Williams, Rodriguez. Each one the same. Each one a lie wrapped in official language and stamped with a signature. He seals the envelopes. Hands them to the mail clerk. Watches them disappear into a canvas bag destined for a transport plane, then a ship, then a mother's mailbox in Oklahoma or California or New York. 4 letters. 4 lives. 5 minutes. The memorial service is brief. A chaplain reads from the Bible. Tolliver says a few words. The names are read aloud. A bugler plays taps. And then it's over. The pilots return to their tents. Some drink. Some write letters home. Some clean their sidearms or sharpen knives or do anything to keep their hands busy, to keep their minds from drifting back to the burning ships and the drowning men and the friends who aren't coming back. Caldwell sits alone on the edge of the airstrip, watching the sun set over the ocean. The sky turns orange, then red, then purple. The same colors as the fires. The same colors as the explosions. The same colors as death. Chen finds him there. "You okay, Skipper?" "No," Caldwell says. "It's the truth. He's not okay. He'll never be okay. He's killed hundreds of men today. Maybe thousands. He's watched 4 friends die. He's written 4 letters. He's lied to 4 mothers. None of us are," Chen says. He sits down beside Caldwell. They watch the sun sink into the ocean together. "You know what the worst part is?" "What?" "We're going to do it again tomorrow. And the day after. And the day after that. Until the war ends or we die. Whichever comes first." Caldwell doesn't answer. He doesn't have to. They both know it's true. The war in the Pacific continues for another 9 months. Caldwell flies 43 more missions. He sinks 11 more ships. He shoots down 3 Japanese planes. He writes 6 more letters. He survives. On August 15, 1945, the Emperor of Japan announces surrender. The war is over. Caldwell is 29 years old. He has flown 112 combat missions. He has killed more men than he can count. He has lost 18 friends. He goes home to Oklahoma, marries his high school sweetheart, takes a job at a hardware store, never flies again. For the rest of his life, 47 more years, he never talks about November 11, 1944. Never talks about the fleet. Never talks about the 5 minutes that killed 16 ships and 4 friends and something inside him that never quite healed. But every November 11th, he drives out to the Veterans Cemetery in Oklahoma City. He stands at the memorial wall. He finds the names: Morrison, Takamoto, Williams, Rodriguez. He stands there for exactly 5 minutes. And then he drives home.